Well, good evening. Welcome to Motivational Mondays. We're back again. Thank you for joining us. And for those who will join us at some other time, we're always grateful to have ears and input. Tonight, we're going to be talking about healing. And this is a very interesting topic, and many different minds have many different thoughts and venues or protocols or things of that nature. So I'm going to talk to you about healing in my perspective, where I'm at with my process in it. So if you resonate with it, that's very, very good. If you gain things from it that enhance your thoughts or your consciousness, that's great. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay too. There's so many different modalities in healing, and healing comes from every corner of the earth and in many, many different ways. So we're going to try to cover different stuff like that tonight, and see where we go. So I was thinking about this really just for like the last hour. I don't really ever consider or think about how this is going to go. I kind of go by the seat of my pants, so to speak. But I want to say that in everyone or anyone, who would you consider is the greatest healer? So I paused for a minute so you would think about it or put it into your consciousness. So I want you to consider in your process that the greatest healer is actually you. And it's important to consider that, because as we get through the evening here, and especially in the meditation, we're not going to be outsourcing our healing. We're going to be looking for that inner dwelling within ourselves that creates an energy or a vibration, if you will, or a frequency that allows healing to happen. If we look at healing and we say, well, where would we start? So we all know that we have a body, and this body is doing more than we can even comprehend. It's working tirelessly, day in, day out, your whole life, to sustain you, keep you alive. And also, it has a healing mechanism built in within itself that you don't really have to think about. It's almost like the body has an instinctive nature to heal. So we're going to tap into that as well in our meditation. So the body has an instinctive quality to heal. That healing is, if you look at it, physiological. It's also emotional, and it's also mental, spiritual. But there's so much a part of us that is instinctive in healing. We know if we get a cut, the cut heals. We don't have to think about it. We know if we get really, really, really hurt, and unfortunately we have to see a doctor or go to the hospital, that the doctor becomes a facilitator and repairs something within you to help your body start that natural process of healing. So the doctors call it recovery. So we know what recovery is. Recovery is a time frame in which the instinct of the body needs to heal or repair. So emotionally, same way, the body has an instinct and will heal emotionally in the same way. Now we can also look at, there's doctors to help us emotionally. There's psychologists, psychiatrists, there's mentors, spiritual mentors, there's priests, there's rabbis, there's all kinds of different venues for us to find that healing and start that process within ourselves. But inherently, you are the healer. So let's look at the light touch or Reiki and things of this nature. The practitioner is actually offering you, or offering your body, mind, or spirit, this essence or this resonant vibration or frequency that your body knows. And it's helping you attune to that frequency within yourself. Most good healers will tell you that they don't really do anything. They just offer that space for you, okay? And that vibration or that loving energy and light to allow the process to start within yourselves. So how do we, if we're outsourcing all this healing to other people and they're offering to us a memory or a recognition of a vibration or a frequency for us to heal, how do we maintain that, or how do we get that within ourselves? So I want to say the real fundamental here is consciousness. It's really thinking, and it's repetitive thinking that you stay in that process or in that memory or in that vibration. Easier said than done, but it is most certainly possible. Most people who outsource their healing will find that, they'll feel good for a couple of days or for a couple of hours, and then they start to lose that feeling they had or that comfortability, and the healing doesn't take. Well, the healings usually do not take when you're outsourcing it, is because you have been in a vibration that allowed your body to have recognition and move in that direction. But then when you get out of that vibration, you go back to habitual habits or things or mental thoughts or things of that nature that bring you right back to the old vibration or that old frequency, and that's where you're right back. So the idea of healing or self-healing comes down to self-love, self-compassion, and the conscious belief that it exists. Because you can go down the rabbit hole for yourself and, you'll be out there talking to your friends or your family, and they'll ask you how you're doing or things of that nature. And what happens is, oh, I'm really sick. I'm not really feeling good. I got this, I got that. So what's really happening there? What's really happening there is you are feeding something. So vibration or frequency, if you will, your vibration and frequency will gain momentum and strength based on your conscious thoughts and how you talk to yourself. If you have a really significant thought and belief that you are healing yourself, or you are in the state of healing, and you are not in the impatient, frenetic place that it's got to happen, instantaneous, you're moving in that direction. You're actually turning the tides and starting to create balance. So balance is really, really the key, because when you think about healing and when you think about, well, my body, I want myself to heal, we have a tendency to be either too far left or too far right. Okay, we're either stuck in that place that we're sick and we're dying or whatever, we're not feeling well, and we want to be on the total opposite end of it. We want to be healthy, well, and joyful in all this business. So what is a healthy healing reference to your vibration and frequency is balance. You're balancing a lot of different things. So we talked about physiologically, you really don't have to balance it. If your vibration is good, even if your vibration's bad, your body's going to heal physiologically to some degree. But if you're in a state of balance, right, you know that there's both sides, that there's illness and there's wellness, and you're really not focusing on either one of them. You're focusing on balance, allowing this to just work the way it works. You see, we kind of get in the way sometimes. We want it all to happen right now. The faith is that, then the belief is that it's there, it's going to happen, and I'm going to put myself in a place that's fruitful and will nourish me in that way. So balance isn't really holding on to either one of them. It's just the belief that they're both there, and I'm sitting in the middle of them, right? Are you guys following me? The emotions obviously get in the way. You know, we get that feeling that we're not well and we start to worry. So what happens when we start to worry? That worry becomes a vibration or energy, and it can really overtake us. Right? Now listen, worry, like other emotions, worry can be a good thing. Right? So worry can in a positive way, worrying can propel you to make changes in your life. Right? It can propel you to make decisions in your life. So what is it that I need to heal? Well, if your body's suffering, it's a conscious thing that you're making a decision that you want to get better or you want to heal. You might decide that diet might be really, really important. You might decide that hydration is really, really important. You see how consciousness works? And you're going to consciously make those decisions, and the body's going to start to react. Mentally, the same way. What are we feeding our mind? What are we feeding our mind? Again, worry in our mind can be constructive, but it can take, once it gets past that balance point, it becomes destructive. You see what I'm saying? You've taken on too much of it. So in your mind, what are you feeding your mind? What is your surroundings feeding your mind? Right? That's really important. What if you're conscious? Again, your surroundings are always going to can be pleasant and unpleasant, right? They can be. They're going to be. There's no question that you're going to have really beautiful times and really miserable times. They both exist, and that's the importance of life, is to understand and healing that they both exist. You don't necessarily have to go all the way right or all the way left. All you have to do is sit in the middle and be conscious of the fact that you're healthy, whole, and well, and that they both exist. Because in our bodies, they both exist. You know, we'll look at like bacteria and things that, you know, we know that that's all in our body, and we have good bacteria, right? And we know that when we take something in that's not good, it doesn't work well for our body. But our body will generally take care of it, and in a period of time, you'll be right as rain. So the thing is to get right as rain and allow healing to happen. Once you get past that 50-degree mark, so if you're 50%, and let's say you go to 80%, it's going to take a lot of energy to hold that at 80%. And let's say if you're 50% and you go to 20%, it's going to take a lot of energy to get back to 50%. So know that balance is not 100% of anything. Balance is you sitting in the middle of life, sitting in the middle of wellness and wholeness and health and happiness, realizing consciously that both sides exist. You don't have to hold on to any of them. Old principle comes down from a very beautiful teacher from many hundreds of thousands of years ago, but it's still relevant today. It's still relevant today. I would say to most people, and I've said to most people my whole life, or well, my adult life since I've been doing this work, if you are looking for help in this aspect, okay, it's important to realize and be conscious that you need help and accept help. Okay. Whether it's a doctor, a nutritionist, or a psychologist or a psychiatrist, a conscious decision to move in that direction would also be a conscious decision to find somebody who you resonate with, who you feel comfortable with, where you do not have any doubt. You do not want to walk into that situation with doubt. You want to be confident, because when you walk into that space with doubt, you are not only questioning yourself, your health, and what you want to be healed from, but you're also questioning somebody who's going to help you. So it's important to find the right person, a professional person who really, really knows what they're talking about, knows what they're doing, and research it. If you are looking for somebody to work in your energy, okay, this is a little different. We just talked about the physical body or the mind. Now we're going to talk about your energy. This is the most important place for your consideration. And for me, it has more thought than on the physical side or the mental side. People who work in energy and you allow to work in your energy has to really, really, really be special. I will say in my process, I do not let anyone work in my energy, ever. Only with very, very few exceptions. The few exceptions and the rules for me are, I have to know that their intentions are 100% in love, that they love me unconditionally. Okay? When you are asking people to work in your energy, you want people working in your energy that are healthy. Okay? Because even people who work in energy can get outside of that 50%. They can have a rough day, they can have a miserable day. They will show themselves to you happy and everything. They got a lot of hardcore energy that they're not showing you. And even though they say, well, I'm not, and in their own process, I'm not bringing that to the table, they are bringing it to the table. Okay, there's no question about it. This is my process. If you resonate with it, great. So if you want somebody to work in your energy, make sure that you resonate with them, that you're comfortable with them. And again, you don't want to go into it with doubt. Reiki and energy healing is very, very beautiful. And I have some very nice people I've met over the years who are very, very, very good practitioners. They're very loving people. Matter of fact, one of the women who I cherish, her name is Lee, and there's a few other ones, a lady Ann. I let these people work in my energy, because I know them. I know that they love me unconditionally. There's no judgment, there's no ego, there's absolutely nothing. They are perfect for me. So with energy healers, that's what you want to look for. You want to look for that's perfect for you. So how do we do that? Look, I'll give you an example. You're going to work, you start in a new job, and there's 20 people in the office. And when you walk in there, you start talking to people, and this one person just really lights you up. You feel comfortable, you feel comfortable around them. That's consciousness for your decision. You'll find other people that don't really feel in that person. Make sure if anybody's working in your energy that this is right for you. Okay. If you take something, if you ingest something that's not good for your body will react by itself. You'll either get sick, you'll have a little spell or whatever, a couple of days, a day, you'll be fine. If you go to someone who's doing energy work, you will not necessarily know that the energies and vibrations that subconsciously came through them, that they had not cleared within themselves, are inherently being kind of interlaid or interfused in your energy and your vibration. It's real important, because for the most part, I would say it's that 80-15-5 rule that I love. 80% of the people are not right for you. 15% of the people are working towards being right for you energetically. 5% are there. So you want to search out that 5%. So much of this energy work and this healing work happens on the weekend. People go to a seminar, boom, 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 couple of days, they're Reiki masters. Okay. Now this is just me talking. They're coming from a household that's broken. They got a lot of troubles home. Their vibrations are really, really warped. They're hurting, they're suffering, and now they're Reiki masters because they're at 80% too confident, or 20% bringing you to a place where you might think that they're perfect for you. I was told a long time ago by two very elder people who I respected. They taught me and led me to this concept about energy work. They were both in their 90s. They had both been practitioners of energy work for a very, very long time. And they were the ones that really helped me with this principle. And they were the ones that said, I never let anybody work in my energy. And they always told me why. Because they are their own healer. So the meditation tonight is going to be really about finding that inherent healer within ourselves, finding that balance within ourselves, and finding that peace. Finding that vibration where healing can happen. Now, remember, whether you're meditating, whether you're going to a Reiki master, or energy healer, or a doctor, or whatever, it's important to always remember you are taking it home here, and they are leaving it with you in your keeping. It is your consciousness, your thoughts, your beliefs that propel that healing to happen. If you are not conscious in it, it's going to go like this. And you're going to be looking for it again. You're going to go back for another session, or you're going to go back to the doctor again. And you're not, well, did you follow up with what I told you? No, I took the antibiotic for 10 days, but I didn't finish it. So there's rules and parameters even in medicine. And I'm not a huge medicine person, but listen, when you need a doctor and they help you, it's beautiful. The medical profession is a beautiful place, but as we know, it can be a very dangerous, scary, dark place too. People make mistakes. Doctors make mistakes. Healers make mistakes. So always, 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 when it comes to you and your healing, if you are outsourcing it, I know I'm beating a dead horse again, know where you're going, know who you're going to, and know if you have doubts for a reason. You have doubts because your intuitive nature within yourself is poking you with that pin. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you're doing. If you go into a process and you're like in this time warp where you're not even thinking and you're dazed and confused, that's not a really good time to start doing this stuff. You should be focused. There should be preparation towards your healing always. If you want to heal, there's a movement that starts to happen. It's consciousness. You move in that direction because you are not there. You are somewhere else, but you want to move in that direction. That direction is in your keeping. Once you find it, consciousness, mindfulness, and repetitiveness, it will happen. Okay. Before we go into the meditation, there's a gray area in healing that everybody should know about, which not too many people talk about. And I don't know how to put it more than a gray area, or that's the way I'm portraying it, but healing does not always happen the way we think it's going to happen. Right? Think about that one for a minute. Healing is not always going to happen the way we think it's going to happen. That's a hard thing to do. I'll give you an example. A soldier's in the battlefield and is hurt very, very bad. The physical body will get to a point where it's not about the body getting better anymore. It's about the healing process as the body starts to transition. Okay, you need to think about that, not necessarily for yourself, but for your own health and healing emotionally, because you're going to experience stuff like this in your life someday. Maybe not the battlefield, but it could be a loved one, it could be a parent, it could be a friend, or anything like this. Accept the fact that sometimes healing is not getting better. Sometimes healing is accepting the fact that the body is ready to transition. That is a tough thing to talk about, but that's the truth of it. What is the healing in that process? Well, the soul is going back home. So you're honoring a beautiful life, you're honoring it, and you're asking the healing not to be something that it's not going to be. And I'll give you a little story. I had, this was about 10 years ago, and I was at a conference, and somebody who I really, really respected, and I still do respect, she's a very prominent Reiki teacher, Reiki healer. And I actually let her work in my energy. So she, at the conference, she told a story about when her mother got sick. and her mother was terminal, and the doctors gave her very little time to live, and she was in a hospice scenario. And this woman did Reiki on her mother. And she always had this feeling like she prolonged her mother's life in some way. And she was carrying a lot of guilt with that. Like she should have just let her mother transition in that process. So this is the kind of thing that within yourself, emotionally, you have trauma, emotional trauma that's hurting you, and you want it to go away completely. Okay. Anything you experience is going to stay with you in some way, shape, or form. Again, it's consciousness, it's healing thoughts, and different energy, different vibration and frequency that's going to change the way you think about it and allow healing to happen. But the experience is still going to be there. So in that type of healing, is it going to go away forever? No, it's not going to go away forever. It's going to be a different person within you that you create thinking wise and in your consciousness, right? We all carry a lot of childhood stuff. We all carry a lot of stuff from our adolescence, things like that, that we're still trying to heal from, emotional scars, traumas. You gotta get to that place where you're in balance, right? Remember, it's not over here. It's not the bright side of it. It's not over here, the dark side of it. It's right here. I am the healer. You need to speak that to yourself. Like, I am the healer. I sit in peace. And you change your frequency. So what else can heal you quick before we get into meditation? Water is the healing force. A shower is a healing force. Definitely. Music can be a healing force. Okay. Your best friend can be a healing force. All right. Crying is the healing force. Okay, when you cry, there's only the toxins in one place that come out of your eye. That's from your eye. There's no other place in your body. Crying is a healing force. So those that, I can't, I don't cry. No, cry. Laughing is a healing force. Get out and do a comedy show. Go somewhere and have fun and laugh. It will heal you. It's vibration, it's frequency, right? Music is frequency and vibration. It will help heal you. So consciously, what works for you, right? What works for you? Is it sitting with your best friend and he or she's the best listener and you just sit there and talk? Or is it that doctor that sits there and listens to you and allows you to do that, right? So you need to search for it. If you need to search for it outside yourself, there's definite help. But remember, you are your keeper. I am the healer. I am the healer. You got to hug yourself. You got to talk to yourself. You got to support yourself. You got to pamper yourself. I do some really weird things. I'm not going to talk about them here. Not really bad weird stuff, but there's certain things that make me feel real good, right? And when I'm upset, I do those things. When I'm not feeling right, I do those things. So find your space, what heals you. It could be a walk. It could be exercise is healing. There's no question about it. Weight resistance training is healing. Aerobic exercise. For me, for 12 years, my healing was fighting. It sounds really, really weird, but I was one of those martial arts guys that all I wanted to do, like that was my thing. I loved it. I felt so good after it. I don't do it anymore. I gave it up, but it could be the most obscure thing. So remember, worrying is not necessarily your enemy. It's just put it in that 49 to 46%. Have a little worry. It's good. It's healthy. It's going to help propel you. It's going to make you get into that zone. But just don't take it over there. So before we do the meditation, be careful. Be careful. Be careful who you allow in your energy. Be careful who you let take care of your body. And know you're the best person to take care of yourself and your body and your energy. So with that, we're gonna I guess pause for a moment, and then we're gonna get into the meditation. So thank you for your ears and listening.